Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus NXT Takeover Wargames 2020. What can I say? The show was fucking awesome. Um, at first, it's one of these classic on paper. You find stuff to already sort of begin to think about in a negative way or to nitpick about. And when I saw that they were opening with the women's war games, I wasn't thrilled with that. I didn't think it deserved that. And then, they tore it up, and it was fucking great. I think the story of having the one babyface injured to offset the fact that the baby faces had the coin flip advantage was really clever. I thought that was really smart. The spots were nuts. Io Shirai, who, the genius of the skies, they often, it doesn't quite look that way in her matches, but this one it undeniably did. They told the great little stories. Everybody looked good. Yeah, there were a couple of things here and there that were like meh, but again, all of the women in this match were doing stuff that you don't really see women do in matches, and it was really, really nuts. I thought it was great. Super high marks. And the men's match would have to be, the men's war games would have to be, one, different in tone and how it was set up, and brilliantly executed to justify getting the main event over this match. But you know what? Spoiler alert, it did. We're going to look at the other matches, though. Finn Balor's pre-cut promo, it was all right. It was all right. It's going to get buried in a show like this, though. Ciampa against Timothy Thatcher. Really brutal, really different change of pace from the women's match. Not that that wasn't brutal. That women's match wasn't brutal, but this was just a different feel. The two of them really just going like hammer and nails at each other, really stiff looking stuff. The bleeding from the ear thing looked violent and brutal. And it was a weird way to get blood in the War Games show, but it worked. And Ciampa defeated Thatcher by pinfall. So Thatcher right now is in put everybody over mode, while still giving a hell of a match and making you earn it every step of the way. This definitely worked. Just no doubt about it. Really, really great match. Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes. I was the least excited about this match based on the NXT setups for this thing. But it was really good. Boy, Cameron Grimes, we know he can go. And he's been playing nothing but scared against Dexter Lumis. But here he really, really looked good. And strap match is what it is. It's very limiting. But boy, Dexter Lumis looks really great. But Cameron Grimes pulled off something really difficult, which is he was running scared like a bitch the whole time leading up to this match. This idea that he just didn't want the fight. And merely by fighting back in such a great fashion, he looks good in defeat here. So this match was probably the biggest surprise for me about how much I enjoyed it. Yeah, so good stuff. Hopefully, though, Cameron Grimes can move on to do other things besides working with Dexter Lumis. I'll just say that. So we showed the vulture perching. Is that for Karrion Kross? Well, it looked good as shit. I mean, I was just balls out a fan of this pay-per-view. I thought it was really great. The North American Championship, I gotta admit something. I'm not the biggest fan of the Leon Ruff stuff. I just think it's like, it is what it is. Everybody else gushes, especially if you're from Georgia, because Leon Ruff is a WWA 4 Georgia guy. This match here I thought was a good acquitting, not only of him, but of Damian Priest and Gargano as well. The story made sense. The match was really good. Gargano defeated Ruff after that brutal-looking drop on his head. Yeesh, man, the NXT guys really murder each other. And it really does have that sort of dangerous indie feel about it in a good way. And this match sort of epitomized that. And so Gargano defeated Ruff via pinfall. And so he de facto beats Priest and wins the title, they say for a record third time, that North American title. I really thought it worked only having the one match for the secondary title on this show. They really did make it about the War Games. They bookended the show with it. And then finally we had, Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Lorcan, and Danny Burch against the Undisputed Era. I saw people complaining that, Undisputed Era is always in this stuff, but man, there's a good reason for that. They're really good at it. The part where McAfee and Cole finally went at it and McAfee kicked out of Panama Sunrise was a really, really great moment. Some people I saw critiquing this match said, it was kind of slow in parts. Yes, it was in the right ways, but man, they really steamrolled into that finish. It completely fucking worked. Man. So, and they didn't have McAfee take the pin, which I was honestly a little surprised about that. It was really fantastic. The show overall was excellent. That both War Games were phenomenal. The men's one, though, I was really taken with in a way that I wasn't expecting. This is a show that surprised and exceeded. And, it used to be takeovers were always an absolute home run. And lately it hasn't been the case as much, but this one was a home run grand slam. And anyone who says differently, I don't know what the fuck you were watching, because it was awesome. Anyway, this is Platinum versus NXT Takeover 2020 War Games. And by the way, the use of War Pigs, which we used to always use for the Platinum Revolutionary War Games, what can you say? Boy, when you have a real fucking song with a little meat on the bone, it sure is great, especially for their audience, which skews a little older. Just saying.